Hello, it's Stark Shore here of www.thefaceliftdiet.com, and I want to make a quick video about the importance of sunshine, because we live in a really sun-phobic culture these days. We've been told over and over again that the sun causes skin cancer and that we should avoid the sun, and so people are instead using things like some people are using sunbathing, a really silly thing to do as well, but and fake tan, because a tanned look is kind of what a lot of people desire. Now I wanted to really sort of look at the issue of where the sun phobia came from. Now it comes from some research that shows that people that living in countries, especially where the ozone layer is thinned out, and they're getting a lot more UVB radiation than normal, and they're having a higher incidence of skin cancer. But I don't think these statistics really show the whole picture, because what we're also seeing, we're getting a lot of government information telling us to either use a high SPF sunscreen or to stay out of the sun, and yet sun cancer rates are still climbing. Every year there's more cases of skin cancer, more malignant melanoma, which is a fatal form of skin cancer that actually kills you. So if we're getting all this information, and sunscreen sales are climbing every year as well, so at the same rate that skin cancer levels are going up, the sales of sunscreen are going up by about the same amount. That seems a little suspicious to me, because one, it completely destroys the notion that the sun is the only cause of skin cancer, because if it were, then we should see a drop in the skin cancer rate at the same kind of rate as the sales in sun protection go up. So as sun protection sales go up each year, skin cancer levels should be dropping, but they're not. They're rising at the same rate. Now, why is this? Is it because maybe the whole theory that that skin cancer is caused just by the sun is a complete fallacy? Perhaps. We need the sun. We human beings get vitamin D via the action of the sun on our skin. Our skin produces a chemical called dehydrocholesterol 7. We produce that in the sebum, the natural moisturizer that our skin produces, and when the UVB rays of the sun, of natural sunlight, hit this chemical on the surface of our skin, it turns it into vitamin D, and we absorb it back in to the body via the skin. And vitamin D is actually one of the vitamins that works with your immune system to prevent cancer, and recent research has come out to suggest that denying ourselves access to sunshine by covering ourselves up with sun protection products is actually causing an increase in loads of other cancers. So we've got this dichotomy going on with this, and yet the message is still coming out from government and from, of course, the sellers and makers of sun protection products that you will get skin cancer, or you will look extremely hideous and leathery by the age of 30 if you do not use these products. I'd just like to add in my own personal testimonial here. I'm 36 and I haven't used sun protection products for at least 20 years, and I'm a total sun worshipper. I'm the sort of person that the minute it's sunny, I'm out on my roof deck for 3 hours straight, no protection. I'm turning myself into a vitamin D making factory, because vitamin D is essential to our health, and I want to live a healthy life. I want to be healthy and strong and fit. I want healthy, strong bones and teeth. Without vitamin D, we could have none of these, and we're seeing, massive incidences of bone issues like osteoporosis. Rickets has been making a comeback. Rickets is a very severe clinical deficiency of vitamin D, because people just aren't getting the sunshine. I live in a northern climate. I'm in the UK, and so for 6 months of the year I'm going to be lower in vitamin D than I would like to be anyway, just because we don't have any sunshine. But people I know who never go in the sun for years and years, they're getting lower and lower in vitamin D. And this is terrible. It's really bad for your whole body. It's bad for your immune system. You cannot metabolize calcium properly into your bones and teeth without vitamin D. You can't fight cancers properly without vitamin D. It's absolutely essential. So we really do need to get access to sunshine, and that means real sunlight, not sunbeds. Sunbeds use UVA rays, and it's UVB that activates the vitamin D on your skin. So it's got to be real sunshine. Now, I'm not advocating people rush out and baste themselves turkey style. That's not healthy either. The problem is we don't live an outdoor lifestyle, and so what happens is generally, and this is where I personally believe a lot of the skin cancer problems come from, is that for 50 weeks of the year, people are cooped up in their homes at desk jobs or in other indoor jobs. They get that 2-week holiday to somewhere hot and sunny, like I don't know, Benidorm or the Maldives or wherever, and they suddenly spend those 2 weeks completely roasting themselves on the beach. And even people that use skincare products, sun protection products, can get cancers, because the way that sun protection is used in a lab is not the same how people use it in real life. You often in real life you use a thinner layer. You're going in and out of the sea, or you've got weather and sand like pulling the product off you all the time. And a sun protection factor doesn't mean go out there and roast yourself. It just means the number on it indicates how many more times you can stay in the sun, as opposed to how long you'll be able to stay in the sun without it. So if you're the sort of person that burns in 10 minutes, a sun protection factor of 40 means that, generally speaking, you can stay in the sun 40 times more than your previous 10 minutes. So that's how it works. It doesn't mean, it's not carte blanche to go out there and turn into a lobster. The second reason I think for skin cancer is diet related. All cancers have some are whole body related, whether they're on your skin or your lung or wherever they are. It's still a whole body problem. So we can't just isolate and say, well, it was skin cancer, therefore it was something on the skin that did it. There's still internal dietary and biochemical issues that we have to look at as well. And one of those things is diet and overweight, being overweight. Toxins in the diet and on skincare products that we put on our skin get stored in the fat cells, because that's where they can do the least harm to the body. And there are theories around that. Some people are storing more fat than others because their bodies are just more toxic, and so the body's trying to save itself all the time. It's got intelligent systems so you don't die. And so there's all these like fat cells, and there's a lot of fat just under the skin. It's in the subcutaneous layer, and there's like a fatty layer, and a lot of toxicity can be stored there. And there is a theory that the heat from the sun is sort of like activating these toxins and working on those toxins, and that is what's causing skin cancer. Now there needs to be a lot more research obviously in this area. I'm not going to say that's an absolute 100% factual piece of research there, but I've noticed, me personally, I've never burnt in my life. I've got naturally olive skin. You probably can't tell because my camera's not very good and it tends to light my face up really white, but I've got naturally olive skin, and I don't really burn, not very easily anyway. Even when I lived in Spain and everywhere, I didn't really burn. But when I put on weight a few years ago, and I was having a really bad diet, I'd just gone through a marriage breakup, and I was drinking a lot. I was gone back to smoking. I ate junk food, and I put on a lot of weight, and I started sunburning, which was an absolute, unheard of thing for me, really. And the sunburn only occurred in places where I had cellulite. That's where all the toxins are stored. So it was things like the back of my arm here, where I had cellulite here, my thighs and my bottom, and a little bit on my tummy. The bony areas of me didn't burn. they're only the bits that have like the kind of fatty, cellulite, sludgy tissue that I put on from, you know, having a bad lifestyle. Now that was really interesting. I've spoken to people and they've had the same thing, and as soon as they went on a healthier diet and worked out and got down to a natural size and didn't have cellulite or the excess fat anymore, they suddenly were able to tan and stopped burning. So I do think there's a really important lifestyle aspect that's not being considered. We're just being told to either stay out of the sun or use products to stop us from burning. And another aspect is those products themselves have now been linked to cancer. Surprise, surprise, the skincare industry has a long, torrid history of putting all sorts of nasty carcinogenic chemicals in our skincare products, which is a subject for a few more videos, I think. And some of the sun protection products in those, such as the UV absorbers, are known to be cause loads of problems with human health, including being carcinogens, being mutagens, which means they cause genetic changes, and also being hormone mimickers as well. And you don't want sort of like all sorts of fake hormones rushing around your body, because that's the sort of thing that sets you up for other cancers as well, not just skin cancer. So we've got kind of like this whole sort of aspect to sunphobia here. You know, we've got the message from government, which might not be really in keeping with the current research on skin cancer. We've got manufacturers of sun protection telling us, you know, you need to use their products, but, you know, they're using carcinogenic compounds in their products, and also just using their products doesn't necessarily prevent skin cancer. As we've seen, the rates of sun protection sales have gone up in line with the skin cancer rates, which can mean one of two things. Either their products are directly causing skin cancer, or they're making no difference and the sun-related skin cancer is rising anyway because of like other reasons. So either way, it doesn't look good for using sun protection. And then the third aspect, you've got the fact that the human organism needs to have some sun every single day in order to keep its vitamin D levels topped up. And if we don't, we experience serious health problems, from osteoporosis and tooth decay right up to various cancers that rely on vitamin D as an anti-cancer sort of vitamin in the body. I also want to show you that you don't need to go and roast yourself to have enough sunshine. You can make about 15,000 international units of vitamin D within 15 minutes of near naked sun exposure. So it doesn't actually take very much, and 15,000 international units of vitamin D is actually quite a lot. So you can, and the liver can store it as well, so you can just about, if you sunbathe, if you're in a northern climate like me, you can sunbathe for 15 minutes a day throughout the summer, and that's just enough to keep you going through the winter, just about. You may need a vitamin D supplement in the spring. Now, for those of you who eat animal products and are sitting there thinking, oh, this doesn't apply to me because I get enough vitamin D because I eat animal products, well, sorry, but no, that's not true. Vitamin D is often added in synthetic form to products like milk. It's not actually present in the milk in very large amounts at all. So technically you're just supplementing with a synthetic vitamin when you think you're getting enough through your diet. Eggs do contain vitamin D, but again, even in people that eat animal products, 70% of your vitamin D still comes from the sun. So if you're not getting any sun exposure, you're still going to be massively deficient in vitamin D. So it's not really a dietary thing, it's something that we have to get from the sun. Hold on a second, just thirsty. Keep yourself hydrated as well. So to round up, what I want to say is, don't be afraid of the sun. We really do need some sun exposure. We're designed to do it, otherwise we wouldn't have this mechanism in our skin to make us create vitamin D, synthesize vitamin D from sunshine. If you're fair skinned and you burn easily, look at your diet and what could be creating a kind of like toxicity in your skin that means that you can't make any of the pigment melanin, which is your tanning pigment, which is also your natural sun protection. The darker you are, the less sun that can get through to your lower skin levels. So a tan itself is your sun protection. And take it easy. Start with just 5 minutes a day. And stay out of the sun in the hottest part of the day. If it's between sort of 12 and 3 or 11 and 3, depending on what country you're in. You look at what animals do. They seek out the shade. They don't lay in the sun for hours on end. They'll have a little bit of sun. They'll come out and rest in the shade for an hour, and then they'll have a little bit more sun. And that way you're getting a nice, slow, long sun exposure rather than no sun exposure for most of the year and then taking that 2-week holiday and roasting yourself and looking like a lobster and coming home blistered and peeling and then ended up with, all sorts of problems in the future. So, get your sunshine. That's one of your number one nutrients for health and vitality and great skin and having a cancer-free life. Don't be afraid of the sun, but treat it wisely. It is potent. I hope that helps. If you've got any questions about sun protection or the sun in general, vitamin D, pop your questions below and I'll try my best to answer them as well. Okay, see you soon. Bye bye.